Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Splash and Airballs, and I feel bad for Celtics 1208 at this point in time because he doesn't know that he's going to lose at this point in the game. I know he's going to because, let's be honest, I don't lose at 2K very often. And a guy who's 30 and 11 is probably not going to beat me. Right here, Chris Paul is going to knock down a three. Just kidding. 2K would be way too easy if he was able to make that excellent B+ to start off this game. There's no way that's going to happen. But you know some BS is going to happen right away right here. That's without even saying. 2K is going to BS me to start out the game, and it's going to go both ways. Once on offense, once on defense. So we're about to find out what happens, and a funky Euro step. Looks like Chris Paul is not able to block it. But right here, I do make a semi-contested three that they call a B+. Really can't complain too much, but J.R. Dudley is... J.R. Why J.R. Dudley? That's an interesting name. J.R. Dudley. I just combined a bunch of names right there. Oh my! Dwight Howard with the putback. If only he wasn't lazy enough in real life to try and rebound a ball. But I meant Jared Dudley. I apologize for that. Right there, contestant alley-oop, but I don't really care. It's 2K. Those type of things are going to happen, especially with Dwight Howard before this, getting one of those ridiculous putbacks. And right here, he's going to have the ball in James Harden's hands. Why would you not, though? You always want the ball in James Harden's hands, or almost always. He's going to do most of the work. And right there, as you can tell, I'm not very good at post defense. So if there's one weakness in my game, even though I have a couple, that is definitely one place in which you can try and beat me, but we'll see what happens. Right here, probably not your best idea, though. I kind of read that pass and figured out what you were going to do. So that's a good way to finish out the break. Why not throw an alley-oop to Blake Griffin? Blake Griffin is amazing. I called him Griffin. I meant Griffin. Gryffindor, whatever. Harry Potter, same thing. But anyways, yeah, this guy has literally no chance, except when stuff like that goes in the hoop. Those little floaters by Patrick Beverley. Ah, oh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Give me a break. Pass it back. Ah, very nice pass to James Harden. Obviously, I read that one. That was not this guy's best idea, and I actually made a three for once. There you go, Matt Barnes. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. So it looks like we can make shots once in a while. In case you guys didn't know, I do end up missing a lot of threes in this game. And just in general, it seems. But right there, not your best pass. I don't know what, I think it was Granger was doing on defense. Matt Barnes almost got that pick, and right here, boom, goes James Harden. He hangs down the rim a little too long, but no one was paying attention. Why would anyone care? It's a video game. I don't really care what he does. But I make some sort of contested play with Big Baby right there. And now the score is 27-19. I skipped a little bit into the second quarter. I did make a buzzer-beating three that I just decided to edit out because it really wasn't as exciting as that sounds. But right now, not a bad start against a guy who's halfway decent. Oh, J.R. Redick. We're just going to call everybody J.R. this game because J.R. seems to be flying out of my mouth. So J.R. Redick ends up crossing over. I don't know who that was. Was it J.R. Daniels? I think it was J.R. Daniels. So anyways, J.R. Barnes is going to go down. Oh, a little bit of cherry picking. And is he going to jump with Chandler Park? Oh, he jumps. And J.R. Barnes is able to get the layup. That's what happens when you're impatient. You cannot just jump randomly. Right here, he's going to find a wide open Chandler Parsons. Kudos to you. You just got to put that ball in. I meant J.R. Parsons. Sorry, that's my fault on that one. Right here, Darren Collison finds Matt Barnes. And splash! Matt Barnes is amazing. I gave up on the whole J.R. thing, but I don't honestly know why I was calling people JR at all. And Chandler Parsons with the Euro, pretending he's James Harden. Why would the game know any They don't know any better. I mean, honestly, they have no idea what's going on. Oh, can Willie Green splash the A-? Yeah, no, there's no way that would go in. But as long as Matt Barnes is making things, I really don't care what else happens. Right there, clear path foul. 2K decided not to call it. I'm not really going to complain about it. He's going to try and inbound the ball right here, skipping ahead just a little bit. Troy Daniels, I think his first name's Troy, is going to get it to a Zeke. He kind of got that little fumbly, bumbly, wumbly animation, and I wasn't quite able to get there in time. Then I just make a bad play on defense. It is what it is. I'm up 10. Why did I say I hate when people say it is what it is? That's so stupid. But Chris Paul makes a nice pull-up animations. Kudos to you for actually making a shot. I'm kidding. Chris Paul is amazing in this game. Omer Zeke is almost even better, just doing things like that. So Omer Zeke is pretty much Dwight Howard, and Chandler Parsons is pretty much James Harden. But 2K really has no idea what the difference is. It's okay. It's a video game. Blake Griffin right there playing a little bit of Richard Sherman ball. And I don't know why I used Richard Sherman as my example. He's not my favorite person. But right there, boom, goes the I don't want to say dynamite. That's too. I'll come up with some clever slogan or something. Nice dunk, Blake Griffin. We're just gonna stick with nice dunk. But anyways, he's wide open with James Harden here. Is gonna shoot a brick. DeAndre Jordan, why not go coast to coast? Just kidding. Blake Griffin for the slam, and Francisco Garcia says, "Get that out of here," because it's 2K. Stuff like that can happen. But Jared Dudley. Lee is able to make a mid-range shot. So he gets the ball into James Harden, who is the greatest player of all time. Just kidding. He's really not the greatest player of all time. But he is able to get a layup. So kudos to you for being able to make layups. And right here, why not throw a standing alley-oop? And it ends up being a 180 backwards alley-oop, whatever. I don't even know what it's going to be called. Blake Griffin, kudos to you for putting that through the little donut shape thing. I'm really, really proud of you on that one. Right here, Blake Griffin, that wasn't even funny. I don't even know why I bothered chuckling. That was just really stupid what I said. Dwight Howard comes back and is able to posterize Blake Griffin. Touche, Dwight Howard, touche. If only you could do that in real life. So right here, Chris Paul is able to bring the ball down the court, and he's going to cross up Patrick Beverley. Just kidding, not really even close. And I tried getting the ball into Blake Griffin, but it doesn't exactly go where I want it to, and Chris Paul is able to splash the three. At this point, I am up 21 points. And this is just going to be another guy who is going to lose to me. He does find Dwight Howard wide open under the rim and gets an easy layup. That was just really bad defense on my part. But I do the same thing. I get DeAndre Jordan wide open under the hoop, but I end up kicking it out to Jared Dudley instead. He does give the ball right back to James Harden, which really is not a bad idea. James Harden does everything. But he takes a really bad three. I read what he was going to do, at least anticipated it, and I end up blocking it with Blake Griffin. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident about my gameplay. At this point, James Harden's just kind of holding on to the ball, and he really doesn't know where to pass it because I'm doing a decent job of covering his players. And I almost get the steal right there with Jared Dudley, but not quite. Omer Asik is going to power through everyone. Just kidding. He just does a really soft layup. I knew he did that in the game. But DeAndre Jordan hustling down the court and catches the alley-oop slam, even with the Gatorade symbol. Very impressed by that. And I get the steal almost by Jamal Crawford. And almost again right there, but not quite. Pretty close. And right here, Dwight Howard is going to be tired. He's going to pass it out to Caspi, and Caspi's going to take somewhat of a leaning three, and it's going to go out of bounds. At that point, I thought he was going to quit out. He's down 19 points. Why would you not? But hey, he decides to stick with it. So right now, I go down the court with Darren Collison. He probably thought I was going to pass it off, but I end up taking that shot instead. Right here, I'm assuming he thought I would pass it off again, but I just pull up with J.J. Redick. And now that we're in the fourth quarter and I'm up 17 points, I feel really confident I'm going to win because I've never given up 17 points in the fourth quarter. He gets a little BS right here, which I feel really bad about. I mean, not really. I don't really know this guy on a personal level, so I don't feel really bad about it. But it's always sucky when you're down 17 points and you're just trying to climb back in there, at least make the game a respectable number, and it doesn't happen. Right here, I missed the release with Danny Granger, and I kind of missed his release all game, but he ends up making the shot anyways. I'm up 19 points. There's just no way this guy is going to come back. And then right here, he's going to throw a turnover with Patrick Beverley. I think Big Baby was the one who got that turnover, or the steal. I'm really not 100% sure who that was. Darren Collison's going to miss the A. I find that 2K likes to make all the B pluses and Bs and miss the A's and A minuses. But that's besides the point. I'm not going to go on complaining about what goes in and what doesn't go in. Chandler Parsons is going to make a wide open three because I played horrendous defense at that point. And right here, I should have taken this three with Jared Dudley. I figured he was using Asik, but I think he was using James Harden, if I'm not mistaken. Or Dwight Howard, actually. But he's able to get a long throw down to James Harden, and he's able to do a nice tomahawk dunk. So he's kind of doing all right at this point. He's crawled back in a little bit. He's down 12, which is doable, actually. There's 2:46 left and 12 points is really not that hard to come back on, but I end up missing a wide open three with Chris Paul, and he gets a rebound right here with Dwight Howard and kind of just dribbles down the court. So I was like, oh, I got to get a steal. So I was trying to reach a bunch, or at least that was the plan. And then he just kind of stands there, and I'm really confused about what's going on. And then all of a sudden he ends up pausing the game, which confused me. I'm like, oh, maybe he's quitting, but he was coming back in the game. So that was the confusing part. He does end up quitting out right here, guys. I have no idea why he quit at this point. Maybe he had to go do something. It was actually becoming a halfway decent game, but I end up beating him. So thank you so much for watching. There'll be more 2K videos for you guys to watch, and have a good one. See ya.